Welcome to another edition of Prep Picks. Heather Williams alongside Steve Wilmot of ESPN Tri-Cities, TriCitySports.com. Busy week. I will say this on the standings. On the TV side of the picks, the three games we picked, exactly the same. Okay. But you did gain a game on me in the online picks. Okay. Thanks, Northwood and Hunacre. Still believe in you, Northwood. Yeah. I still believe in you. But so that's where we stand. So we are no changes on the television side of things.
No wagering. No wagering.
At the end of the year, I might go back and figure out the online picks because I haven't really been keeping track of those just to see. I think you have a couple game lead on me though.
Yeah. it's not. I'm really concerned.
It's not good for me. We're going to hit a couple of Virginia games and then rapid fire on a laundry list of Tennessee games. It is a busy week. The playoffs are here. But before the playoffs, a couple of games that are huge as far as getting into the playoffs. Not so much in. I think all four of these teams are in. But as far as region rankings go and seedings and home games and that, let's start with Gate City at Ridgeview.
Yeah, second place game in the Mountain 7. I would think that both of these teams have a good shot at hosting as well. Certainly the winner would host for sure. But you look at these two teams, 4-1 in the Mountain 7 conference. The total point differential for Ridgeview is plus 109. The total point differential for Gate City is plus 107 in those 5 district games. So I thought, let's look at how each team did against Union. Oh, they both lost 42-21. So we've got a very evenly matched game here. Both teams like to run the football. I'm going to take Gate City on the road on this one. I just think with what they've done earlier this year, I can't help but not revert back to that Dobyns-Bennett game and how well they played. That still sticks in my mind. So I'll take the Blue Devils on the road.
Yeah, these two teams are pretty equal and have been all year. When I do my top 5 Tuesday rankings, I went back and forth. I think I even put one of them in there as a tie one just because it was really hard to differentiate between the two schools. I do think that Gate City runs the ball a little bit better than Ridgeview, but I do think Ridgeview throws the ball a little bit better than Gate City. So again, goes back to, okay, now we're equal. But I think in a game like this, controlling the ground game, especially with the weather when it's going to be on Friday, is a little bit more of an advantage. So I'm going to join you, and I'm going to take the Gate City in this game. Holston at Chilhowie. Holston really kind of still fighting for their playoff lives. Chilhowie pretty much has the 2 seed and 1D wrapped up.
And probably a home game, too. Could win the Hogohigi District for the first time since 2018 with the win here. That defense for Chilhowie in its region or district games only has allowed 20 points in all of them. I think it's 4 combined. And then only 69 points in 9 games so far this year. That's less than 8 a game. Meanwhile, Holston, only 14 points 2 weeks ago, 7 points against Rural Retreat last week. I just don't know that Holston can score enough to keep up with Chilhowie in this one.
Yeah, Chilhowie has been the biggest eye-opener in Region 1D this year, the most improved team. They were so close last year. We talked about this early on, to being right there in the mix with Rye-Cove and Eastside. Now they're there. Yeah. They're definitively, in my mind, the second best team in Region 1D behind Eastside. So I'm also going to pick Chilhowie in this one. Although, if there's a path for Holston to win this, it's going to be on defense. Their defense is very good. So if they have a chance to do it, their defense is really going to have to be the catalyst in that. All right. Rapid fire.
As fast as I can go.
Well, I mean, it is the internet. We do have all sorts of time, but I also don't want to be here all day either because there are some really intriguing matchups. Great list of games. We're just going to start big ones and work our way down. Farragut at Dobyns-Bennett.
A rematch of last year's first round game. In fact, Dobyns-Bennett beat Farragut twice last year. Now, Farragut, you look at that record 3-7, okay? A little bit deceptive based on their schedule. They played Sevier County, which is number 2 in 5A. They played Powell, which is number 4 in 5A. They played Upperman, which is number 6 in 4A, along with Bradley Central, Oak Ridge, and Maryville.
Oh, is that all?
That's it. And all 3 of those teams, obviously Maryville and Oak Ridge have been ranked all year. Bradley Central was ranked for a time. So Farragut, this is not a game Dobyns-Bennett can just roll out there and win the football game. They've got to come out and play well, be a little bit cleaner maybe than they've been the last couple of weeks, and I think they will be. I think Dobyns-Bennett wins it and advances, but it's not going to be a walkover.
Yeah, I would say I am going to pick Dobyns-Bennett. My concern is they didn't look all that crisp against Science Hill. As injury-riddled as Science Hill is, I felt like Dobyns-Bennett should have controlled that game more. They didn't, so I'm a little bit concerned about them, but I'm going to pick Dobyns-Bennett in this one. Speaking of Science Hill, they go to Oak Ridge.
Oak Ridge is a team that's a bit injury-riddled. They're without Their Miami of Ohio commit wide receiver Will Presley last week. Also, the running back did not play last week. I think you saw that in the performance against Maryville. They still have Blaine Stainsbury, the quarterback. They still have Malik Howard, a four-star tight end. They still have a huge guy at nose guard that Dobyns-Bennett had trouble blocking. They're big up front. Science Hill can stay in this game, I think, with Oak Ridge, but I think the Wildcats just overall have a little bit too much.
Yeah, I'm going to join you and pick Oak Ridge in this one. Oh, Westridge. Well, the good news is you're back in the playoffs. The bad news is congratulations, that earned you a trip to Maryville.
Yeah, Maryville, who has won, I believe, 28 straight first round playoff games, something like that. So they're used to being in this spot and advancing. Will Jones, outstanding quarterback. They got Toy Buford over from Bearden, who they'll throw it to him, they'll hand it to him. He'll be in the kick return game, punt return game. He'll touch it always. Westridge is going to have a hard time keeping up with him. And the Maryville defense, you look about their offense a lot. The defense is really good too. Oak Ridge only 74 yards total offense all last week, minus 1 yard on the ground. Can Westridge move the football? They've moved the football on everybody. We'll see how they do against Maryville, but I think Maryville wins.
I think the hardest thing for Westridge is that they are a very, very good running team. There's no question. But I just don't know that you can be one-dimensional against a team like Maryville, and Westridge is one-dimensional. So we'll go with Maryville. Knox Hall at Tennessee High.
So, yes, both teams started 0-3. Both teams have won every game since, except to the region champion. For Hall's lost to Central. Tennessee High lost to Sevier County. Tennessee High playing at home for the first time in a home playoff game since 2019, but they haven't won one since 2009. There's a really special player for Knox Hall's, Jarrell Chandler, a four-star defensive back and wide receiver. Just got an offer to Georgia in the last week. Had an offer from Tennessee since the spring. He's a dynamic playmaker for Halls, and I think Tennessee is going to have trouble stopping him. I don't like picking against our home team, our local teams, especially at home, but I got to go with Halls in this one.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing for Tennessee, I think, is that, and I don't want to downplay Class 5 football in this area too much, but there's not a ton of competition for them. First of all, there aren't a lot of Class 5 teams, and especially with Boone being down, Cherokee Crockett being a little bit down. And then they play a lot of smaller schools than them. So I think it becomes very difficult at this point in the playoffs for them because they just haven't played similar sized, similar skilled teams. I think that's why they don't have a lot of success in the playoffs. I hate it as much as you do, but unfortunately, I'm going to join you, and I'm going to pick Halls in this game. Crockett goes on the road to Knox Central.
Yeah, Knox Central, we just mentioned, Region 2 5A champion, ranked, I think, 6th or 7th this week. They've continued climbing up the rankings. The quarterback is the real deal. Caden Long, saw him game number 1. By the time Friday night is over, he's going to have 4,000 total yards and 40 total touchdowns. Crockett's not going to be able to stop him. They've got some really speed on the outside as well. I like the Bobcats.
Yeah, I feel like that early injuries, although a lot of the players are back, but I think early injuries really kind of capped what this Crockett team could be this season. I don't think they ever reached their full potential, which is unfortunate because there are some really talented football players on the team. I'm going to pick Knox Central at home as well. Greeneville, all they do is play home games at this round in the playoffs. You talked about at Maryville and their winning streak. Greeneville, they play a lot at home at this time of year too. They are hosting Carter.
Yeah, Carter, the Hornets have lost their last 2, and I think 3 of the last 6. They come in 6-4 overall. For Greeneville, I was looking at Caden Ball, the quarterback stats this week. He's got more touchdowns than incompletions on the season. And he's going to be,
that's good.
That's pretty good. He's going to be pushing about 3,000 total yards and 40 touchdowns himself by the time it's all said and done. Oh, he's got Zayden Anderson out there too. This is just too tough an assignment for Carter. I like Greeneville big.
At this time of the year, I'm never picking against Greeneville at home in the opening round of the playoffs. Even if like Maryville came to town, I think they still will. I don't know about that, but it's definitely a tough place for teams to play. I'll join you in that one. Gibbs at Elizabethton. This is interesting just because Elizabethton is not the healthy, vibrant Elizabethton team they were a few weeks ago. But I mean, to Sean Witten's credit, he just plugs guys in and they seem to just keep going.
This is a Gibbs team that probably thought it would be at home this week until Anderson County beat Alcoa. Oh, Gibbs beat Anderson County earlier this year as well, so don't forget about that. Elizabethton has won 16 straight playoff games at home. This is going to be a tough game for Elizabethton. I really think, the quarterback we talked about, the freshman, being in a spot last week against Elizabethton, kind of in a spot now against Greeneville. Kind of in a spot now. I like the fact that has that game under his belt. Coach Witten is going to take a lot from that tape and instill a lot this week. And I think they're going to learn a lot from that game at Greeneville last week that's going to carry over and just get them over the top against Gibbs. But a Gibbs win here would not surprise me, but I'm going to stick with Elizabethton.
This is going to be tough because you mentioned freshman quarterback, really good Gibbs team, not the kind of team you expect to be coming into your place on the first round of the playoffs. Gone back and forth over this. You know how much I hate picking against our local teams. I'm going to join you and pick Elizabethton, but I agree with you. If Gibbs wins, it will be the least shocking thing that happens this week. But I just like what Sean does there. He finds a way to get the absolute best out of whatever kids are in front of him and get the best potential out of his team. So I'll pick him as well. Volunteer in the playoffs. Congratulations. You're going to Anderson County.
Anderson County. Volunteer did win its school record 7th game last week against Sullivan East, but yes, they get an Anderson County team lost its opener to Knox Catholic. Now, J.D. Gillum, the freshman quarterback, the son of head coach David Gillum, was hurt in that game, hurt his shoulder, didn't return until a couple of weeks ago. He was out when the Mavericks lost to Gibbs as well. He's back, threw 258 yards and 4 touchdowns last week in the win over Alcoa. Oh, they got Jason Thompson, too. Almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage for the outstanding running back, 1,444 yards on the ground. He had a 99.9-yard touchdown reception last week. They split him out wide, and he just outran everybody. Yeah, congrats, Volunteer. You're back in the playoffs, but it's going to be a short run because Anderson County is just that good.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously I'm picking Anderson County too. And the unfortunate thing is that the news for Cherokee is pretty similar.
Yes.
Yes, you were in the playoffs, Cherokee. Congratulations. I know they were in the playoffs last year as well, but that's I think they actually probably thought that they were going to be going to Anderson County. The last week kind of was a little bit of a surprise, but it's not like Alcoa is exactly a winning prize for making the playoffs.
Well, Cherokee thought it had won the Avoid Alcoa Bowl
Right.
a 2 weeks ago.
Right.
We talked about that for a long time. Now, I don't know what happened to Cherokee last week at Northview Academy. I can't really explain that one. But now you're going to Alcoa. Alcoa's the number 2 seed. That's hard.
Crazy.
That's nuts. They just lost a region game for the first time since 2011, too. You know, you thought Alcoa last year might take a step back. Eli Graff, the quarterback, graduated. He was the Blue Cross Bowl MVP, Mr. Football finalist. They just had this Thomas Manu step in. You talk about a quarterback efficiency, 34 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 31 incompletions on the year. Plus, he's got a future Division I SEC receiver to throw it to. I'm sorry, Cherokee. And Alcoa, by the way, they're not happy to be the number 2 seed. Sorry about that as well.
Yes. What we say a few weeks ago about Cherokee, they had the unfortunate of playing Greeneville right after they lost.
Yes.
More unfortunate because they get Alcoa right after they lost. Great season for Cherokee, but yeah, unfortunately it ends here. Dropping down to Class 3A, Sweetwater at Unicoi County.
Unicoi County, 2 losses on the year by 4 combined points. You know, they lost that Gatlinburg-Pittman game at home by 1 point, or they'd be the number 1 seed. Sweetwater, 3 of the 4 defeats by the Wildcats have been by a touchdown or less, but they don't have anybody to stop Colby Jones. Unicoi County wins.
Yeah, that was my one regret for the season is that we didn't ever work in Colby Jones for our player of the week because he's definitely deserving of being considered for our area's player of the year. He is one of the most talented players in the area. And oh, by the way, I didn't throw in a little dash of Blaze Rice and all those other great running backs that they have there. They're very tough to slow down offensively. I got Unicoi County as well. West Greene at Oneida.
Oneida.
Not Uneida. My brain sometimes. The Buffaloes did avoid being winless and in the playoffs because they did get their first win last week, but they are 1 win in the playoffs in that Oneida.
Say what you want to about the 1 win, but they're the 3 seed as well. So it's not they're the 4 seed either.
Right.
But it's a tough assignment for West Greene. I mean, you're going on the road, tough place to play at Oneida. Yeah. I think Oneida wins.
I mean, I saw West Greene play a couple of games, and they are not hapless. Like, there's some talent there. They can play. They've been competitive in some of their games. They don't have the depth to stay up with so games get away from them late. And I think that will be the case as well. I think they put up a little bit better fight than people maybe expect, but yeah, unfortunately, I think it ends. Maybe Take out maybe Greeneville, maybe the best team in the area, Happy Valley hosting Tellico Plains.
Yeah, Tellico Plains, the Bears of Tellico Plains, won their first three. They've lost 5 of the last 7. The only wins in that stretch were over 1A Harriman, which finished 1-8, and 2A Smith County, which finished 4-6. Meanwhile, Happy Valley, I could say the same thing in a minute here about Hampton. You look at those two football teams, you look, as I was trying to submit some nominations last week, and I'm looking for kids from both of those teams, and there's just so many kids that do so many different things and contribute so much. There's not one individual player that has these massive amounts of statistics that jump off the page at you when you're trying to nominate kids for awards, and that's why they are in the position that they are in. And so I think Happy Valley wins this one comfortably.
It's what makes them so dangerous. You can't just key in on one person. You think I'm going to key in on Keelan Relaford, and then somebody else will beat you. It's just they're impressive. They have been. I knew that they were going to be good because last year I talked in the preseason with Jason Jarrett, and he goes, "We have maybe the most talented kids that we've had in a long time. They're young, not as young as this year, so I knew they were going to be good. This has been really impressive. I will take Happy Valley as well." Polk Green. See, this is where my head is. Polk County at South Green.
Well, Polk County is the one that ended Happy Valley season at this point last year.
Right.
Came up here and upset the Warriors. The Wildcats have one common opponent in Eagleton Academy with South Green. South Green won a couple of weeks ago, 27-13. Polk County won 23-13. Evenly matched game. I don't like the pick I have to make here in Polk County. They've been there. They've been on the road. They've come up here. They did it last year. They won last year at Happy Valley. I think they do it again. I think they beat South Green.
South Green's been a really hard team for me to put my finger on this year. I had them in my top 5 for a while because their record was good. But they never really had what I would call a signature win, like a win where they went and beat a really good playoff team, took care of them. The best team they played all year probably was Happy Valley, and Happy Valley handled them pretty easily. I don't like it either. I don't like it at all. Our heads are in the same place here, which, I hope I'm wrong. I hope South Green takes care of business, but I do like Polk County in this one. Dropping down to Class 1. Rockwood at Hampton. This game is going to be played actually at Cloudland High School, which is interesting. But
Rockwood 6-4. 3 of the losses have been by a combined 11 points, including only one significant loss was to Coalfield. Coalfield's a really good team. We'll talk in a minute. They lost to 2A, Bulldogs only loss came to Happy Valley. So I think Hampton wins this game, but this is not a walkover either. I've vote in the top 10 polls every week, and I've seen throughout the season votes come in for Rockwood. So obviously a lot of people down that way think a lot of Rockwood and what they can do. So I think it's a dangerous opponent, but I think it's one Hampton will handle.
I think Hampton's a lot better than people think. I think people look at that Happy Valley loss and how badly they lost and think that that's a bad loss. I think Happy Valley's just that good.
Yeah.
When Hampton has played Class 1A schools, they've had little to no trouble with them. And I don't think it'll be little to no trouble, but I don't really see this being anything other than a Hampton win. The only thing that might play into it is they've played all year on that nice turf field up at Happy Valley. Cloudland's a different animal. It's darker. It's older. It's not going to be familiar. So I don't know. They'll probably bring a lot of fans, but it's probably not going to feel like a home game. It's probably going to feel more like a neutral court game or neutral field game. So that might be the only thing that plays into it. But I like Hampton. I think they're one of the best teams in the area. Speaking of Cloudland, their field is available because they are on the road at Coalfield.
Exactly. And Coalfield, well, they're a good football team. They lost the first 2 games of the year to Class 2A number 5 Gordonsville by 3 and to Class 4A number 9 Stone Memorial by a touchdown. Since then, in their last 8 games, 405-30.
Oh,
I'll take the Jackets.
that's good.
I'll take the
I think
Jackets.
that's pretty good. This is not the Cloudland teams that we're used to seeing. They're a good football team, obviously a playoff team. They still run the ball very well, but they don't have that one dynamic running back that they always seem to have that just really makes them very dangerous in Class 1A. Great season for Cloudland, but I agree. I think it ends at Coalfield. Final Division 1 game that we are picking. Yes, we get to pick a Division 2 game this year. Oliver Springs at North Green.
Yeah, Oliver Springs, I thought at one time might have something for Coalfield early in the year. They were ranked right up there about the same in single A, but really got hammered last week in that championship game. But Oliver Springs is a very good football team too. North Greene got the home game by virtually, I think a win over Cosby pretty much gave them the home field. So I like the fact that North Greene is home, but I'll talk about this in our other segment a little bit later. But head-to-head matchups in Region 1 versus Region 2 in Class Single A have not been good for our area. So I have to go historic there, and I'll take, unfortunately, on the road, I'll take Oliver Springs.
Well, here's the thing. I was at because North Greene played at home last year.
Yeah.
I think a better North Greene football team last year than what they have this year and just got hammered in the open round playoffs. I just think the competition level between Region 1 and Region 2 is, take Hampton out of it, is significant. Like the competition level is significant. So I'm going to take Oliver Springs as well, unfortunately. First playoff game for Class Division 2, Class 1A for our area as Providence Academy hits the road for Donelson Christian.
Yeah, congratulations. You get a 550-mile round trip
Yes.
for a first ever playoff game against Donelson Christian. And
Well, part of it is there are no Class 2 teams around here.
they've already made a couple of road trips, and I calculated like 518-mile round trip, 530-mile round trips this year. So that not something they're not used to.
Yeah,
Okay, so they've been there, done that this year. But I don't know that they've played anybody like Carson Sneed, 6'6", 248-pound, four-star tight end that Donelson Christian has. He's going to North Carolina. His brother Ty was a wide receiver at Tennessee for a couple of years. He's now all Tar Heel as well. So that's going to be a tough matchup. He's a good tight end, plays defensive line as well. I like Donelson Christian.
You know, the road thing does have to play into it, especially at this time of the year. I talk to head coach. My brain's not working.
Kilgore,
former chief. I don't know why that went away.
Yeah.
In the preseason, and he said he would like to play more local teams. He just can't get them on the schedule. Being a Class 2 team, there's a little stigma that goes with that. But they're ahead of what I thought they would be. He has done a really nice job with that football team. I mean, this is their second full year of playing 11-man football, already in the playoffs. Pretty impressive. But I think it ends this weekend. But that doesn't take anything away from the season they've had. I saw them play a couple times. They look pretty good. They really impressed me. So congratulations to Providence Academy. But I think, unfortunately, it ends this week.
Yeah.
All right, what's on your mind?
Well, a couple teams in Virginia locally going for perfect seasons this Friday. Union, I guess they actually play Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Union be their third perfect regular season, I think, in 10 years. Be the first ever for Eastside. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Eastside is they're good, and they're young still.
Yeah.
They're still very young. I mean, I think almost everybody's coming back next year on that. That's impressive. You mentioned Thursday games, and I realize that there is weather in the area.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a pass on this, but this has been on my mind all week. So I wish everybody would just play on Friday. This week we had a Monday game. We've got Thursday games. We've had Wednesday games. We have Saturday games.
Yeah.
Just play on Friday. You're taking for me, just so that everybody understands, in the TV world, you're taking away from the opportunity for your kids to shine. On the Lebanon Virginia High game, and I know there was an issue with the field at Lebanon, which is why they moved it. But it was going to be one of our 5 featured games on Friday Night Huddle.
Right.
We were going to have a reporter there, post game, the whole 9 yards. But because they played on Monday, it was opening night for college basketball. I could not afford to staff it. I went there and shot like a quarter. That's all I could do. I didn't even get it. Wasn't even able to stay long enough to get a touchdown. You're taking away the spotlight from your kids. Limited resources, and I know there's a lot of reasons. So administrators, don't get too mad at me. But I know there are also times where games are just moved, just to be moved.
Yes.
Like all the games that were on Thursday last week.
Yeah.
So that's frustrating for me, and it's disappointing because, like I said, I would have loved to make a big deal. It was a big game on Monday,
Yes.
and it didn't really get the attention that it probably deserved. So,
I've cut a promo on Thursday night games already on this show, so I'm glad you're cutting on that. Okay. But, also in Virginia, last 2 Raws for Grundy,
yes,
Twin Valley,
yes,
and Hurley.
correct.
I think Grundy plays at home, a winnable game against a Wise Central team that's only one game, and Twin Valley or Hurley will also win because they play each other at the Cliff. So I know it's going to be such an emotional night for all those schools involved. I've been there. I've done that. I remember back in the day when Sullivan West closed down and became Sullivan South. And I was like, there were new friends of mine at Sullivan South at that time that were lamenting the fact that West had gotten shut down. I was like, what's the big deal? Well, then my school got shut down at Sullivan South a few years ago.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still not happy about it, but things change. So I hate it for those schools and those communities, but I do look forward to the new school next year.
And I believe Grundy is still got a chance to make
Do
the
they?
playoffs.
Okay.
I think so. I have to go back and look at the standings.
Okay.
The other two do not, but I think Grundy still has maybe a small chance to get in. But yeah, like the cliff, like I'm sad about the cliff. I've been showing pictures of the cliff. It's just cool. Like I think that the new school should play the cliff. I know they don't want to go all the way to Hurley, but that would be cool if they did to play.
In Tennessee, we talked about Region 1 and Region 2.
Mm-hmm.
In the current regular season classification, which is 6 classes evenly divided, I'm talking Division 1 across the way, and the current Region 1 versus Region 2 first round format that we've had for 8 years since the demise of the Super 32 a few years back. Region 1 versus Region 2 in the first round is 68 and 110. That's not good.
I don't think that's good.
The last 2 years, it's 13 and 35. And last year in Region 1, 2, and our classification 1A, 2A, and 3A, it was 1 and 11. I think it's going to be better this year. I don't know that 2A and 1A are going to get swept like they have last year, but it's been tough sledding for Region 1. Hopefully, I don't know that it'll get to even to the 11 and 13 of 2022, but I think it's going to be higher than 6 or 7 than it's been the last 2 years. So
yeah, I think there's a couple of teams in the smaller classifications, specifically Hampton and Happy
Yeah.
Valley, that are poised, if everything goes right, to make significant runs. But yeah, you can see it. Every year I was used to doing some sort of, and it's kind of gone this way in the Virginia side as well. I've been used to doing like a state championship special.
yeah,
It's been since 21, since we've had a team on either side of the state line play, and it's been since 20 that we've had someone win. It's past due. Come on, guys.
that's right.
Let's
We're
get on
pulling
it.
for everybody. We want to be here all the way up through December. How's that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do.
No, I'm funny. Joking. That was a joke. I always want our teams to be successful. And when I pick against them, it hurts me. I would love nothing more than for region championship games to be 2 teams from our area. That would be awesome. Makes my life easier.
Be a whole lot of fun too.
Yeah, and less travel.
Let's try. Oh yeah. We'll talk travel next week.
Good. All right. So if you want more on high school football or any high school sports, check out his website. That is tricitysports.com. And for all your highlights from Friday night's playoff action and the last week of the regular season in Virginia, join me Friday at 11:15 for Friday Night Huddle.